Yes, people. How are we all doing? Welcome one, welcome all to the Liverpool News Roundup. A lot of midfielder links today. It seems like we're trying to really push forwards and getting this midfielder over the line before the deadline. And there's been a lot of names mentioned today, and we're going to discuss all of them today. And we also probably need to touch on the whole centre back situation because there was links last night about Joe Gomez moving to Al Ittihad potentially. There's news today about Nat Phillips' future. We could have discussed the key problem areas for the football club today. But if you're new here and you're not already, make sure you hit that like button, hitting that subscribe button, setting that notification bell so you don't miss any more content. And let's just get straight into this. First things first, we've been linked with about seven centre mids today. I was going to say centre backs, it's centre mids. The Decore links are back. The Czech Decore links are back from Sport Zone, who were suggesting that we are in talks with Czech Decore himself and his agents about a potential contract offer and what they'd accept in terms of a deal for that. Do I believe it? I don't know. It's probably the most it's the one I want the most. I think Czech Decore is the best option on he's the best option out of the ones that we're currently given for what I think we need, because the options that we've been given aren't very great. But with each passing day without talking to Crystal Palace, that price is getting less and less and less and less and less negotiable. And it's going to get to a point where, even though we probably want to negotiate, we're not going to be able to, because they don't have enough time to source a replacement. And if that is what truly ends up happening, I think a lot of people at the football club will be very, very, very disappointed, because he's clearly the best of the bad bunch that we're looking at now. Another one that was linked was Ryan Gravenberch. Obviously, the young Dutchman wouldn't need to be registered. So there's that whole fact that you got to consider. Apparently, according to Florian Plettenberg, or whatever his name is, we could really push for him in the coming days. My thoughts on Gravenberch. I've not watched anything of him. He doesn't play enough for Bayern to watch him. Not seen him else in the other way. Like, the only positive is he doesn't need to be registered. But then he's gonna want a lot of football, and I'd sooner give the minutes to a Curtis Jones or a Harvey Elliott. Just because I haven't look, Ryan Gravenberch could come in and shock me. He could do. I can't rule out that possibility because I haven't watched him play. I'd never watched him at Ajax. I thought he was all right in the one game I remember him playing against us for Ajax at Anfield. But hasn't played at Bayern. It seems like we'd be tasked with reviving his career when we need guaranteed quality coming in. And I don't know if we're in the state to do that, really, at this point in time. I mean, the whole point why he's leaving Bayern is he wants more first-team football. He comes to us, he's behind McAllister, Szoboszlai, Thiago, minimum in the pecking order, so he's still fourth choice. Like, he's still not going to play. He doesn't raise the ceiling. He's not a floor raising, he's not a ceiling raise. He's just there. He's a project, and I don't think we have the room or the time to develop a project at this point. I think it's just too much work for us. The other one, there was another one, Miguel Delaney said we could consider a move for Wilfred Ndidi. I mean, Jesus Christ, can you tell we're desperate? Wilfred Ndidi, when he first joined Leicester, he had 5 years where I thought he was a brilliant DM. A bit limited on the ball. Not a bit, quite limited on the ball, but a really good destroyer of a DM. Then he got injured. In the 21-22 season, and he only played 19 games, and beyond that point his legs have just looked shot. And the one thing, the reason why we're trying to buy midfielders at this point in time is because we're trying to add legs to the midfield. We're trying to make sure that we've got the options in there, and ultimately I just don't see the point in it. I mean, Nottingham Forest want him. Is that really what we're doing by Nottingham Forest's panic buy? Come on. I just don't look if you somehow find a way to get him back to the levels that he showed in like 2019, 2020, then you've got a decent DM on your hands. But I don't think that the way we're playing suits him. And especially, and I mean like the him in his prime, not even the him now who's struggling a little bit for legs and pace. So I really hope this Wilfred Ndidi stuff is a no-go. And the other one was Douglas Luiz. Now, I don't know who started this. I've just seen it all over the timeline today. I think Douglas Luiz is a good player. I think Douglas Luiz is a really solid player. But I don't think Douglas Luiz is what we need. But if the club are looking for a versatile, combative midfield option who can play both the 6 and the 8, Douglas Luiz probably ranks very highly on that basis because he can do all that. I just don't think it's his strengths. I think if we were buying Douglas Luiz, you'd want him in the role Trent has when he inverts. You wouldn't want Douglas Luiz being the destroyer. You wouldn't want him doing all the dirty work because Douglas Luiz is incredible with the ball. He's not just someone who thrives without the ball. He almost sort of needs the ball at points to showcase his quality. I still stand by it. Sheck Decore is the best option available. I'm a bit concerned about the fact that the Manu Kone links have dried up. I would have hoped that a bid would have went in by now for him. Kefren Turam as well. There's something you got to think about there. We've done a lot of groundwork with Kefren Turam, and that seems to have gone quiet. Maybe that's something that can be looked at reactivating towards the end of the window if Nisa willing to sell. Now he's had a good start to the season over there. There's a lot of things to ultimately consider about the future of this of our midfield, and we are running out of time to do it. And if I think we understand that we need a midfielder, otherwise there wouldn't be so many links. I mean, yeah, we beat Newcastle, and yeah, it was a boss result, but there were still. I think Endo, after the 30th minute, sort of got a bit overran, a bit overawed by the occasion, struggled a little bit. Even then, like in the second half, Harvey Elliott was playing DM. Yes, it worked. It worked to a point, but I don't want to see that consistently. Like, that can't be a consistent thing. So the need for a midfielder is still there. I think they're going to cheap out, I think they're going to cheap out. And it's a shame because we started the window so well, and because of that, I put an nth degree of trust in them. I went, okay, you've had a really good start. You've nailed the 2 problem positions you needed to buy. You've created another one now in DM. But because of how good of a start you've had, I'm going to back you to, make the right decision. And they've not done that. They tried to. This is why I don't hold the Caicedo thing over their head. Moises Caicedo would have been a superb buy, but we didn't get him. And we took the piss a little bit with all that stuff around him and why it took so long for that bid to eventually go in, and with the Romeo Lavia stuff. Ultimately, you've missed the boat with him. So you need to move on. And we just have struggled at the moving on part. I mean, Endo coming. I really don't think Endo is. Look, I'll back the player. I'm part of the Endo clan and all that, but people are right to have concerns about him as the starting 6 week in, week out for us. I think them concerns are completely legitimate. People will say, why didn't you just go get Bellingham? Again, the whole Bellingham package, I don't think people understand. Jude Bellingham cost Real Madrid close to 200 million. We were not going to pay that. Jude Bellingham also only wanted Real Madrid. And ultimately, we needed more than Bellingham. If we'd bought Bellingham, that would have probably been it for our midfield. We needed more than Bellingham. We needed 3 to 4. And we've brought in 2 really, but 3 options. Endo is someone who I see as a Milner type guy, which is why I'm desperate for us to get this Sheck Decore deal over the line. I just don't know if we're going to get it done. I really don't. I think we ran it incredibly, incredibly late at this point, and you're asking an awful lot from Crystal Palace to let him go at this point in time. I will get through the comments. I'm not on for as long today. I know I normally do an hour of this, but I can only do about half an hour. So I'm going out to watch the footy. I will be happy with those Luiz and a centre back before the window shuts. I think that's the ideal way, but I really don't see a centre back happening at this point. The Decore links are back. Wait yourself for Yuvraj. The Decore links are back. We're linked with 3 to 4 midfielders. Just take your pick who will actually sign. I hope it's Decore. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Gravenberch. Seeing Ndidi stay as well. I don't want Ndidi. Me and you both. Good one now, so. I would say Gravenberch or Douglas Luiz over Ndidi. For me, it's Decore, Douglas Luiz, Gravenberch, and Ndidi. Am I better than yesterday? A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Big up yourself, hello. Big up yourself, John Kelly. We really need 2 in before Friday. I think if you get a centre mid and a centre back, I agree, but I don't think you need 2 centre mids. That's like a bit of a shocking, but I think you only need 1 more midfielder. Big up yourself, Tucker. What about the links, Matip and Cash for Thea? From what I can gather, from what I've told, from what I've asked and what I've been told and all that, Rens don't really want to sell Thea. So this whole Matip's on the shortlist thing, Matip will only be bought by them if Thea leaves. And they want to keep Thea. So I'm not expecting much movement on that front. I'm really not. You need Hassan to come to your channel. He's milking you on, isn't it? You don't even get paid. I can't remember last I was on Hassan's channel, to be fair. Is what it is. I know he'd come on if I asked him to. That's the thing. I just don't do it. Big up yourself, Anfield lad. I would not sell Gomez. We'll just sell Gomez early in the summer transfer window, but we probably do not buy one, so we need to keep him. Yeah, at this point in time, you just got to keep Joe Gomez around and hope that maybe the offer comes round again in the future if you want to get rid of him. Would you rather take Douglas Luiz or Gravenberch? Douglas Luiz. Tommy only is 6. Endo simply not good enough for the first team. He's good enough to be a rotation piece, and we're putting him into the starting spot, which has an awful lot of pressure on it at the minute. Big up yourself, HMD Boomer. Tommy said to me on Twitter it wasn't a concern that we were taking our time with Lavia, and he will be in the squad for Stuttgart. Any comments? When do we play Stuttgart? Oh, that one. That tweet was a joke, taking the piss out of all the ITKs and how they just rattle off information, but because they word it in a way and have hashtags at the end, everyone believes them. I think I said there was a centre back who wanted to call Stasha Panlovic from Salzburg. I've never seen him play. And the whole stuff about I wasn't concerned with taking our time with Lavia. I weren't, because in the end we didn't actually want him. Looking back on it, we handled the situation poorly, incredibly poorly, but we didn't want Lavia for the money that they were asking for. We clearly wanted Caicedo more. The issue was leading Lavia on like that, and it's cost us and left us in a position where we have none. So the situation was handled poorly, but on the 2nd of August, I couldn't have imagined everything else that was brewing after that. And I still stand by what I said that day. It's not a concern, because as it stood at that point in time, we were the only club in for him, and Chelsea were busy on Caicedo. Yes, now Tom's going to be Gravenberch if we get anyone. Have the WIFA links gone away? He plays for Feyenoord, doesn't he? I've not seen them, to be honest, so I wouldn't know. Gravenberch just no round poor sign. We need to walk away. He has a high ceiling, but I don't know. Thuram be a great sign that Klopp could mould into a top class 6. I said this earlier on the window. Thuram is a brilliant project 6, but like I said earlier, this stream we can't afford projects at this point in time. We need ready made. I would take Gravenberch at Ajax. He was calling this as a man to survive his career. It's Klopp. Again, though, we're not. I don't think we're in a position to do that at this point in time. Kone or Thuram is what we should be looking to. Probably. Ndidi's defo panic buy. I don't believe it's going to happen, to be honest. Ndidi's horrible, by the way. He was good, but he's not good now, sort of thing. Gravenberch has the attributes to become a good 6. Again, though, it's project buy. Why don't we just go for Thuram if we're looking for a multifunctional midfielder? The price points. That's why we left them. That's why we left that table in the first place. The price point of Thuram was just too high for what we thought he was worth, and he was asking for a lot of money, and we just didn't believe he was worth it. Unless there's been a compromise reached with that, I don't see anything happening on that front. Tom, will be very interesting to see if Decore is in the Palace squad tonight. I didn't know Palace were playing tonight, you know. Let's have a little look. Are Palace playing tonight? They are. They're playing Plymouth. They're playing. I don't expect the Corey to be in that squad then, to be honest. Apparently, we're prepared to pay 20-25 from Ndidi from what I've seen on Twitter. I just don't believe we're in for him. It was a very opinion piece from Miguel Delaney in the first place, and people ran with it like it was gospel sort of thing. So I wouldn't believe it. Don't think a bid has gone on for anyone. It's just Interest FC at this point. I agree. Virgil get a 2-game ban. Yeah, I saw that. I figured at the time when he done all that, he was pushing his luck. He was borderline. Something was probably going to happen afterwards. I'm hoping it's just a big fine, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's another game. But I wouldn't expect it to be a 3-game ban. I think that'd be incredibly harsh because a lot of players have dissent, and as I tweeted earlier, the referee was shit. Multiple times. They have all these new rules and regulations brought into the Premier League this season about time wasting, kicking the ball away. You're not allowed to, brandish a card. Only one member of the coaching staff at the front of the technical area at a point in time. Newcastle broke all of them and got no yellow cards. We broke 2 of them and got 2 yellow cards. Like, what's the point, man? I think we're still in for the core aim. We're in talks with the agent, but the fee is probably asked 60 to 75 million. We do have the money. Yeah, look, it's a weird one. The takeover investment news will slowly trickle in now. Fucking a bit late for the investment now, isn't it? Breaking news: the FA's advised to give VVD a 4-game ban. No, I disagree. We just should have bought Lavia if Endo was a start. We're doomed. Again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Big up yourself, Capone. Bring Douglas, Luiz, and Gravenberch and Andre and Jan if you want Coney. Let Adrian go and you bring in Coney. We don't need Adrian. You've still got one too many players there. You need to let go of someone. Why not spend 100 mil for Bastoni? At least you'd have a high quality centre back. I don't think Bastoni is good enough to be the record defender, and he's just signed a new deal anyway, so that one wouldn't happen. Big ups Panaskaus. Watching a lot of La Ligas, Mendy would fit Liverpool perfectly. I think he doesn't want to leave Sociedad this summer. I don't think he wants to leave. Yeah, thank you very much, Alexander. Hey, Tom, American Age is getting into footy. Decide on Liverpool's my team. So to your channel, you'll never walk alone. We'd love to chat with you as my knowledge builds. Well, just keep popping in the streams when you can, Capone. I'd like to think I'm one of the more knowledgeable ones, but I appreciate this point. You picked the boss team there. Best team in the world, Liverpool. You're a smart man. Ndidi is also a very good defensive midfielder. So members, let's not also undermine Ndidi. Best option is check the core. Ndidi's just, I don't know what shape his legs are in. If Ndidi can get them legs back that he used to have earlier on, then I'd probably take him second because I thought he was a really good destroyer, and I believe a destroyer is what we need. But I have concerns. He had that injury in 21-22, and then last season he was awful, looked so off the pace, looked a yard slow, and that was why we sold the likes of Fabinho this summer. We can't just buy a younger version of Fabinho with the same problems, because you might as well have just kept Fabinho, because at least Fabinho was higher quality. Big ups my guy, Drunk Vegan. Do you think Salah has to leave for Saudi in the next 24 to 48 hours? And if so, we will have to accept the potential bid around 150 because Mo deserves it. Then who will be our replacement? We don't have to accept anything. Mo Salah doesn't. We don't owe Mo Salah anything in the nicest possible way. We've paid him. His best years have come at us. We've been the ones to help nurture and develop him. It's a very cynical way of looking at it, but ultimately, we don't owe Mo Salah anything. We don't owe any footballer anything. That's the matter of fact. The only footballer we got close to owing anything to was Stevie G. I don't think he has to leave, though. I think he's got too much respect for us. I think he'll see this season out and just make his move next summer. Big ups, my guy, Mickham. I'll take Tarami. He's ready-made to me. I wouldn't say he's ready-made. I think it's that he's somewhere. He's somewhere. Go get Geertruida from Feyenoord. He can play right back and centre back. I don't think we need that, though. I think we need a left back and left centre back. Do you think we get the core right? I hope we do, but whether he does, I don't know. I think they all signed Gregor's Krishawiak. I remember him. He used to have a banging FIFA card on like FIFA 16. Was my star DM. Joe was mouthing off yet no word. Look, the ref was awful. The ref was awful, man. I'm telling you. Wonder what happens to the referee who didn't give a Stonewall penalty for Wolves. It's nice to wait. He's a referee for a Sunday. So. In the first 4 games of the season, we had Anthony Taylor versus Chelsea, and he's never had good games in that fixture. We had Paul Tierney and Konstantin Hatskadakis on VAR in the second game. Both people who've had controversy with Liverpool in the past. Paul Tierney just because he's Paul Tierney, and Konstantin Hatskadakis for elbow and Robertson. They sent off McAllister when he shouldn't have been. Okay. Game week 3, Konstantin Hatskadakis was back on VAR duty. First time I've ever seen a person have VAR duty 2 weeks in a row for the same team. I might be wrong, but it's the first time I've ever remembered it. And you also had, what's his name, Banks in the middle. Scott Banks, or whatever his name is. Awful referee. Got swallowed up by the occasion within the first 3 minutes and just gave everything pretty much to Newcastle. And now the referee who fucked it against Wolves versus Man United, the worst decision so far of the season, is our referee on Sunday. How does that make any possible sense? How have we gotten so unlucky with the refereeing, like the refereeing assignments to start the season with? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. There's been controversy in every game for us this season. Funny how whatever name gets linked today is suddenly who we need according to fans. You'll see that from certain sections. Look, I've always held the belief that Ndidi, not an Ndidi, but Ndidi type of player, a destroyer, is what we need. I think you've got too many players who need the ball in that midfield. So the only one who I'm sitting there going close to is maybe a player with the profile of an Ndidi or a Decore. I don't think Douglas Luiz is what we need, and I don't think Gravenberch is what we need, though. Ultimately, the football club believe we need a different type of thing. They believe we need an 8 and a 6, like an 8-6 hybrid, and in that case, you'll see these names who are getting linked maybe look better at that option. At the end of the day, it's going to be different with every person because every person thinks we need something different. What's the point of selling Fabinho for getting Ndidi and Fabinho? Exactly. Tom, what's the attitude towards FSG and Liverpool, and is it changing? Do the majority still like them? I've not really had a conversation about it, and that's just normal. It will depend on how the window ends. I think don't expect to see mass protests outside the ground because that's not going to happen. But there'll be a couple more disgruntled people. The one thing I will say though is it's not the idea that everyone in Liverpool backs FSG is not true. It's not true. It's a lot more divisive, but people go to hyperbolic statements when it comes to FSG and Scousers. We sit in the middle. Some like them, some hate them. There's a lot indifferent to them. Luiz only comes if his woman comes along and plays for the women's LFC team. I don't think he turns down a move to Liverpool because his bird plays for Aston Villa women. I don't think he does that. I just think he's got to do a 2-hour commute every weekend if he wants to. Isn't his bird like that Alicia Lehman or something? In my opinion, I would buy Kone and Gravenberch at a total price of 85 mil, and with the rest of the money, buy a young player who can mould to be the Salah replacement like Bakayoko from PSV. I think you're massively overpaying if you're paying 85 for Kone and Gravenberch. I also think you only need one midfielder, but I like the idea of bringing in Bakayoko. You are definitely the one Liverpool fan channel with the most ball knowledge. I appreciate that, Warwick. Ref agenda confirmed. What can I say? I honestly think Grav is the one we get. Looks like we're pushing for him now. Wouldn't Chalobah be a good shout for centre back? I really like Trevor Chalobah. I think he's a really good player. I think he's underrated because he plays for Chelsea. But again, I don't think he's what we need. I think we need someone on the left. There's no rush for Salah to leave. That offer will always be there from the Saudis. Exactly, Daniel. Mo Salah is adored in that part of the world. There will always be an offer, a big money offer for Salah to go to that part of the world. I think it'll be next summer. There's always the potential that we could have a blinder of a season and it convinces him to sign on again. You know, hopefully that's what happens, but I'm not expecting Mo Salah to throw his toys out the pram because he believes this move is never coming, because it will do. And I also think Salah might just want to keep, playing at the top level of football. Can we just throw 70 million at this lad? He's going to be the best DM in the world in 2 seasons, Ezekiel Palacios. See, he's someone who statistically topped a lot of metrics. I saw he played for Leverkusen at the minute. He sits in the middle. He sits at the base of Xabi Alonso's midfield. He's a very good footballer. But am I correct in saying, I'm just going to check it here, make sure that I'm on about the right Palacios. He has a bit of a dodgy injury history. Again, like I said, I might be on about the wrong one. I might be on about an old, like Wilson Palacios. Here we go. So Palacios injury history. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna show you his injury history, and then and then that should be proof as to why I don't really want him. Look at that injury history. Look at that. 17, 27, 29, 30, 45, 47, 52, 54, 60, 75, 80 games missed in his career. And he's 24. He's missed a game every single season. Oh, I don't know if I want that at the football club. The whole thing was we were getting rid of the injury-prone midfielders. I don't want to add another one. I want to see Tom Little and James Redmond interviewing people outside of Anfield. If Redmond's up for it, I'll do it a game. Me and Redmond will go stand outside Anfield, post-match, do match reactions out there. By giving Trent a yellow, he absolutely shot himself the rest of the match. The occasion got to him. I've never thought that Scott Banks was a superb referee. And he's one of the ones who sometimes lets the occasion get to him. And yesterday was no difference. Not yesterday, Sunday was no difference. He lost control of that game. He lost control of that game so quickly. And that's the issue with the English officials. They are the people in power on the football pitch, but they let themselves get walked over like they've got a fetish for it. It's a joke. Big to my guy Steve. In the end, we see if the rest of the bad game, I was sent to the second division at the time to have to take a couple extra lessons to learn how to do the job properly. We just give them a little slap on the wrist and say, have a week off. We give them time off for being crap. How does that make any sense? Tom Little has some cold kits. I love this kit. Dick out on the back. 07, 08 kit. Beautiful stuff. I think fans need to start processing the rest. They're ruining the game. Posh giving Virgin 4-match ban for showing emotions. Game is gone. I don't think it'd be 4-match. I think that'd be extremely harsh. But in the same breath, I also think there's no point in protesting the rest because we're struggling for refs in this country as is. I've always said the solution. Ow. My throat is still fucked from Sunday, by the way. Nunes, I've not screamed as loud for going ages. Nunes. Anyway, back on track. The referees. The Premier League, the best players in the Premier League are all from foreign countries. And if we're the best league in the world, just go and pay the best refs to come ref in this country. Problem solved. But we don't do it. I feel like we'll get some LFC breaking transfer news later tonight. It's got to come tonight or tomorrow. Really does. Funny how the rules change when it's subject discipline when others seems to change too. Agendas against us, man. Agendas against us. Hyperbole overload lately, yeah, well said. That's all it is. We're very emotive when it comes to the football club, and sometimes you just get to that point in time. Karma, we signed a relegated player Ndidi after we tried to sign Lavi, who was relegated, and we signed Endo, almost got relegated. Pure LFC logic. Again, I don't expect Ndidi to happen, but my God. We should buy defensive right back, centre back like Mukiele and a DM like Florentino Luiz. Why does everyone seem to think we need a defensive right back? Like, I don't think that's the position we need. I think we need left centre back more than anything. Got a bad feeling about Verge for us daring to get McAllister overturned. Wouldn't shock me, like. The amount of Chelsea news happening like every hour this whole transfer window and saying I can't even keep up. I mean, it's 6:30 at the minute. Have I missed anything? Yet? Should we just do a quick little refresh? Oh, Salah's in London, by the way. Can we just let's get started with that? I thought he was having his Dubai medical. No, he's just in London. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Who'd have thunk it? Not new yet, but hopefully we get something soon. Next summer plus 150 mil, Salah's all yours. Look, I don't think he's gonna get 150 next summer because he's in the last year of his deal, but anywhere from 80 to 100, I'd accept. No meant for both 85 mil Gravenberch and Kone took. Yeah, I don't think Gravenberch is 35, and I definitely don't think Kone is 50. Oh, where's Ryan Ducore hype? You watched one game of him against Arsenal where he wasn't even bad, and you made your opinion off that. Palacios has missed 53 games in the last 3 seasons. Oh, it's navigated again. Is it called an injury, really? It's not an injury, but when you're missing, what is it? Two games with it, it's annoying. So how much honest thoughts on Gravenberch would you actually take him? I just haven't watched them. So I've always been told he's got a lot of potential, but I've also been told there's attitude problems, and I don't believe that we're in a position where we can gamble on Gravenberch and try and revive his career. I think we need more ready-made. If Salah leaves, I prefer Joao Felix as the replacement. I'm going to say this once more. I said it yesterday. I think Joao Felix is the most overrated player in world football. I do not want him anywhere near this football club as the Mo Salah replacement. Not anywhere near. If you're replacing Mo Salah, you're doing it next summer after you've sold him, and you're going and spending the money on Moussa Diaby from Aston Villa. I'm looking forward to the game versus Villa. Both sides start strong and back Liverpool win if they take the chances. Fingers crossed, eh? Tom, you know what would be mad if Klopp turns Elliot into a DM? Klopp is a madman at times. You can't rule it out, can you? Tom, what is that podcast on your channel profile picture? It was when I was doing a thing with the football terrace. So I was 21, 22 that season. I was doing a show about it was the flop of the season. I think that was where it was from. But it was just something on the football terrace back when we were doing stuff in the studio. Van Dijk will not have a 4-game ban. The rules have changed from automatic 3-game ban to 1-game ban. The issue is Booger, he's now being charged with something else that could push it forwards. Big ups my guy Gary Richards. The full City rating. Premier get paid less than most of the top 5 leagues. Fact, Tom. It deserves to be paid at least because they're the worst at the job, unfortunately. We should switch back to 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Again, I like this system. I think it works. I just think there's a lot of things that needs to be done with it. I think once you get a top DM in, it looks a lot better. Once you get a natural left centre back in, it looks a lot better. It's just currently this system is exposing the weaknesses rather than helping them. And if we end this window without addressing all the problem areas, then I'd agree we might need to change back. But for now, I think we're all right. Hold that Etihad. They won't have a high for unless they want to protect their mates. This is the issue. No chance, mate. Salah easily worth 200 mil, bro. Easy. Oh, Mo Salah's a footballer is worth a hell of a lot of money. But the issue is it's all the external circumstances around him. The fact he's in the last year of his deal, the fact that it's a lot more money, if he starts to push for a move, then gotta consider that his age as well will limit him. Like, it's just all them sort of things. All them sort of things are stuff that have to be considered, unfortunately, when it comes to this Mo Salah situation. Smash them like I agree with, and unfortunately, likes people. I hate Felix. How about Tomori at centre back? Again, I don't think he's what we need. Felix is absolute shit. Felix is a good footballer, but he's fucked up the important developmental years. Is the best way I can describe him. So now he's got a lot of flaws in his game that I don't think can be ironed out. If we'd got a hold of him when he meant to, so when he made that move to Atleti, if he'd made that move to us, I think he would have been a hell of a lot better. But he didn't, and now he's at, how old is he now? Let me just double check. I think he's 23. Joao Felix age 23. So Joao Felix is now 23. He's messed around in the key developmental years. He's got an attitude problem now. He struggled in the Premier League for me when he was at Chelsea, albeit it is Chelsea. For the amount of money that if they were offering me him for 35 right now, I'd probably gamble on it. But I'd need a massive reduction on his wages. I'd need him to nail down his attitude and his work rate, and I'd need a spot to open up. I don't think he's a right winger personally. I don't think he's the type of player that you want replacing Salah. I still think Moussa Diaby is the best one. Where are we up to? Joao Felix's call, bro. Would love him playing for us under Klopp. A couple of years ago, yeah, but not right now. Tom, do you rate the live from the French league? Arthur Thiat. I haven't really watched him, but from what from what I've seen him, from what I've read, he's a really good build-up player, and I think that is the type of play we need at left centre back. I really do. Salah's in London, selling FSG to bring in more transfers that I'll leave. I'm the main guy in the Michael Jordan of LFC. Would you get Coleman at right wing or Olmo? No, and potentially, but Olmo is a bit lower down on the list. Look at the growth of this channel. It's been mad from Vigo, hasn't it? It's been absolutely mental. Massive shout out to everyone for the support. The Conga has been offered to us. I've offered myself to Zendaya. It's not going to happen. What are your ideal realistic transfers for the remaining time this window? Ideally, you get Sheck Decore and you get either Piero Hincapié or Arthur Thiat. If you get Arthur Thiat, you don't register Adrian. Or what I think is more realistic is you get Gravenberch, and that's it. Tom, would you be angry if Liverpool signed Coleman? No, I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. He's just not the top name I want. Doesn't mean I'll be angry. Tom is the future of football. Important that Liverpool also keep Salah fit, injury free as well as keeping him. Salah's not really had injury problems. Nunes. Good to see you myself, Eddie lad. Tom, how do you feel about Villa? 0 further signings. Same way I felt about Newcastle. Tough game, but we should be good enough to get the job done. Felix IQ is on par with Bobby. I think that does a massive disservice to Bobby Firmino, you know. I think it really does. I think Bobby Firmino is a special footballer with one of the best brains in the world. And I think Joao Felix is smart, but he's not Bobby level. Felix is good. He just did not get on well with the Atletico manager. Yeah, but I think that's the problem. He's now, because he didn't do well there, he's missed key developmental years. Reckon Eric Ten Hag can revive Cucurella's form as he is the preferred choice. I wanted Tagliafico or Reguilon from Choice agreed on when he said Reguilon best option. I still think Reguilon would be the best option for United left back. He's the most complete. I think he's the best natural left back there. I don't rate Cucurella very highly, and God knows you don't want Marcos Alonso at this point in time. I've seen Tom Little on James Redmond TV. This is football on the football terrace. I get about. I think our system will start cooking when we get a new midfielder, gel a bit more. Tom, moving away from Liverpool, do you think Havertz and Mount can be saved? I think Mount could have been if he joined us. I don't think Havertz can be. Do you think Kudus and Alvarez signed by West Ham could have been great signings for us? I think Alvarez is the type of player that I was looking for at DM. So I think he would have been a good one. And Kudus would have been good depth. I think West Ham had a really good window, you know, a really, really good window. I think David Moyes has nailed it. And I think that they're going to shock a lot of people this season. Felix has luxury played at Benfica, had talent under Simeone, failed Atletico. This is why I'm always so cautious about these players. You need to make the right move. You need to make the right move in your career. I love Rafael Leao. He's got an expensive release clause, yeah. What's going on with the Corey bro here? We had a contract offering for him. Yeah, according to Sport Zone, we've put a contract. We're in talk with them over a contract. If we get the go ahead on that, we'll try and push for him. We'll try and push Crystal Palace for a deal there. Bet the Saudis been asking Stevie for this to our players. Wouldn't shock me. Said it all summer. Felix on loan with the buyout. We don't need a new Salah. We need systematic changes with Darwin Jota up top. But Salah, the system works with Salah there. The systematic change would work with Salah there. It's what we're trying to do anyway. It's why he's taking on more of a creative role. It's why to start the season he's only had 1 goal, but he's had 2 assists. If not, is it 3 assists? Did he get an assist in the first game? No, it's 2. One goal, 2 assists. Like he's taken on more. He's got like 11 assists in his last 9 games or something. He's taken on more of a creative role here. Then they look at this. I'm not having this. I think Robert's improved defensively, but he's horrible building up from the back. I think that's always going to be the case with Robertson. I need an explanation on how Trent made Gordon look like Vinny Jr. Gordon had Trent for the first 10 minutes, and then bar the mistake, which doesn't make Gordon, look like Vinny Jr. Is a fuck up from Trent. I don't think Gordon had much joy against Trent. I really don't. It was just the first 10 minutes. Zendaya is so overrated. What is this? Look at her and tell me how she's overrated. It's a joke, that man. Any defender? I hope it's Hincapié or Thiat, but I doubt it. If we saw Mo say for 225 mil, all money should be used on transfers only. Bowen, Andre, Hincapié, Palhinha, Pavard. No offense, Pankaj. I think that'd be a massive waste of money. If I had 225 million to spend and I'd sold Mo Salah, I'm buying Musa Diaby, Johan Bakayoko. So Musa Diaby, Johan Bakayoko. What midfielders am I going to go for? Arthur Theat. Because I think Cafe's too expensive at this point. Jack Decore and Boubacar Kamara. That's how I'd spend the money. Gravenberch comps look cold, can't lie. Asaidi comps look cold. Look, I think Diego Simeone is a fantastic manager. I really do. And the fact of the matter is, people will sit there and say Simeone's ruined Joao Felix. Look at the way Simeone gets the best out of Griezmann, who I think is a similar type of player. It's clearly a personal issue for Joao Felix. After the Newcastle game, what's your thoughts on Endo? Look, did he set the world alight? No. Did he struggle at points? Yes. But I'm also not going to make my basis on the player based off of 90 combined minutes, 60 of which have been played with 10 men. I thought when we had 11 men, he was actually all right. Not a world beater. God, no, not a world beater. But he was all right. The issue is people will judge him. And they'll judge him against the standards of being a starter because that's what he is right now. I just disagree with that. I think that if you buy someone else, the pressure gets lifted off and you'll see a better player. Nunes was starting against Villa. I think so. I think so. I agree. Moyes spent that rice money well. Moyes didn't. Tim Steedman did, which is why I was saying he should be the director of football for Liverpool. He is smashed at this window, and I'm gutted we didn't get him. Nunes has to start and be played in the right kind of place. Yeah, look, Nunes. Like I said yesterday, there will be games for Nunes. There's games for all of our attackers. This is why you have good depth. And I think Villa, with their more proactive style, will leave spacing behind for Nunes. Reckon on Sunday we should start with 10, solve desperation and 7 what he was cooking. I disagree. First 10 minutes he had him a lot, but after that, I can't remember the last time. After that, where Gordon got past Trent and done something. Mo's wages / fee could potentially cover Bakayoko, Chiesa, and Felix. So then you've got 8 attackers. Why would I want? Sorry, no, you've got 7 attackers then, haven't you? So you'd have Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, Nunes, Felix, Bakayoko, Chiesa. A, stay far away from Chiesa. He's got no knees left. B, I don't think Felix is very good. Bakayoko's all right. You're also... I disagree. I wouldn't... I don't think that's worth it for Salah. I don't. But look, I would love to carry on, people, but I do have to go. Change of plans, Dom. I'm not going out tonight, unfortunately, because Mr. James Redmond has drafted me in for the half-8 show. He's drafted me in for the half-8 show. So, 8:30, get on James Redmond's channel. It'll be me, Sam Monts, Redmond, I think. Anyway, that's what it was last week, so it might be the same again. But yeah, I'm going to love his leavers. But before I leave, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. Just by the way, Drunk Ego, big up Chloe Bloxham. That was a banging vlog for the Newcastle game. Boss scenes in the away, and big up to her. I think she's boss on Redmond as well. But anyway, I'm going to love you, leave you in a bit, everyone. In a bit to raw.